What's good, y'all? What's up with it? It's your girl, Poppy.
And I'm Joanna, but you can call me Joe. And you're tuned in to Girl, Let Me Tell You.
Girl, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Question of the day. I wanted to know, Poppy, and I'll answer first so you can have time to think. If you could trade places with anyone in the world for a day, who would you want to trade places with? I would want to be Solange because Solange is so low key. She's so low key, like you barely ever hear from her.
I was
She'll
not
post when she
expecting
wants
that.
to post.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yes, she's super talented, like underdog in my opinion, overlooked, but she still knows her worth in a sense, at least from what I have observed.
Mm-hmm.
And she just lives such a quiet life. And I feel like everybody knows what she brings to the table and it goes unquestioned. She didn't even have to like try too hard for her to be as awesome as she is.
Interesting. Okay. You're probably not going to like my answer to this question, but my answer is me. I literally do not want to trade places with anybody in the world. And it's solely because of the reason of being, you don't know what these people is going through. They can have a beautiful life on the internet. They can have a beautiful life everywhere else. But the moment you get in their shoes, you might not want to carry the weight that they're carrying, regardless of what, money or fame or notoriety that they have. You don't know what weights they got. The last time I answered this question, my answer was Blue Ivy because she's a kid and her parents are Jay-Z and Beyonce.
You always gotta be so difficult. Jeez.
But hey, that was a really good question. And I think it's going to really set the precedent for this episode, being able to step into other people's shoes and just kind of hear different experiences and perspectives. So, to the Girl, Let Me Tell You fam, let me just give y'all a quick little update for this season. Joanna and I are looking towards a 3-part episode series just focused on Black men. We grew up with Black men. We love Black men. We have friends who are Black men. We just appreciate them and everything that they contribute, not only to our lives, but to the world in general as well. And so this is a great episode because this is going to be the first interview of season 3. I am so glad to bring on one of my really good friends from undergrad at Oklahoma State. He is just killing the game in his industry, and he is willing to come on to the Girl Let Me Tell You podcast and share his journey and experiences as a gay Black man in America. So y'all make some noise, get excited because I am super excited for this. Welcome, Khavory Lee.
Everybody, I am Khavory Lee. I'm so excited to be here. I am originally from Dallas, Texas. I grew up in a really small but big suburban neighborhood called Flower Mound. It's beautiful. I don't regret it. And then I went from there to Oklahoma, where I went to college with Poppy at Oklahoma State University. Go Pokes. And I graduated during COVID, which was not the best thing. I graduated in December of 2020. And then 3 months later, I moved to Los Angeles, California, where I still live to this day. So I've been here for almost 3 years, and I'm working as a content creator and photographer here for different fashion and beauty brands, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm still learning every day. I'm still doing my thing. I'm young, so I'm like still trying to figure out where I'm at in life, and that's what life is kind of about. So I'm really excited to be here and talk with you all and just do the thing.
Yes, come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the Girl Let Me Tell You podcast. It means so much to me to have you here. The excitement is here. The love is here. It's just all love. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. I did tell the audience before you came on that we were really excited to have you on the show because you're going to be able to give your perspective as a gay Black man in America. Honey, now that's a lot. That one sentence alone is a lot. Okay, it's one thing to be a
Stack the
Black man in
minorities on top
America.
of each other.
It's another thing to be a gay Black man in America. So let's just kind of get into it. I think my first question is, when did you first notice that you were romantically interested in the same sex?
I love that question all the time. I feel like it was more of a like gradual of acceptance, not of me noticing, right? Like there is this point in your life where you kind of realize, okay, am I gonna keep fighting myself on this thing? you know? Like, am I gonna keep running through the mud and get nowhere and keep going face flat in the mud every single time I try to get back up? Like, it's just hard, right? And so it was probably high school that I realized something's different.
Yeah.
And like I'm like getting really tired of like fighting that battle in my head. And then I went to college and I decided that I was going to give this thing a chance. And this thing is obviously not even something I need to give a chance. It was already inside of me that I just needed to turn that light switch on, right? And so
Yeah.
that's how I've been able to think about it. It's like I beforehand I was just like had this little light switch that I was turning on and off all the time. And now I'm just like I'm leaving it on. Like I'm too bright to be dimmed, right? So like why am I
Right.
going to leave this light switch on and off all the time? Um and so it was around college where I was like, you know what? I am finally making friends who see me for me. I kind of feel like I'm seeing other people around me that are kind of the same. And so then whenever I started actually blossoming outside of that, I actually started making real friends who actually love me. Crazy how that happens. And you would think out of all places, Oklahoma would not be the place where a gay black male would find his place in the world, but that's exactly where I was. And I kind of like to tell everyone that the fact that Oklahoma has nothing makes you really discover everything about
Okay.
yourself.
Oh,
Like
that's a good way to
that,
put that.
like that one thing, people are like, what's there? I'm like, my life. You know, when you're a kid and you have a playground and you're having to make the toys yourself, that's what I kind of feel like Oklahoma State was for me. You know, like I'm
Wow.
like in this like desolate playground where there's a lot of toys for me to play with, but I need to make my own story, make my own like little fun little thing. So that's what I did.
I love that analogy. That was really nice. And that's so like
Yeah.
true. Like that's spot on. Because
Hmm.
like I can relate, you know?
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
relate to that.
yeah.
I can relate to that because a lot of people always ask me, wow, I can't believe you went from Texas to Oklahoma State. Like that was like a 6 hour drive from my hometown. And everybody's always asking me, like,
Hmm.
why? What was there? Like, what just made you stay? And I was
Hmm.
like, y'all just don't understand. You just don't understand.
Is something about that place. There's like some different type of stuff in that water because
Okay.
it's that's still water.
That's still water.
That's the still water. That's funny. I actually have a question.
Hmm.
I was when you were talking about like, how you got to OSU and you started feeling like you just met the right people, like met your people. I
Hmm.
have that same experience. Like when I went to UNT, I don't know what it is about college, but I feel like a lot of students that I've come across, they're like, when I went to college, that's when I discovered myself. That's when I found out what I was passionate about. That's when I
Yeah.
met my people and we're still cool. So I wanted to know, I guess either of y'all could answer, what do you think it is about college that I guess provides that space for students to feel so comfortable?
What it is about college in general is the fact that they take all of these high school students, right, who were kind of living in their parents' shadows in a way, living with
Hmm.
people where they had a lot of expectations, a lot of rules, a lot of boundaries, especially depending on where you come from. And they take all of these students from all over the world and they say, here, start over. And so I think that opens up a really good space for people to explore in a safe space because everybody is in this journey, like everybody is starting from scratch. And so I think that is a really, for me, in my opinion, is what allows the college experience to let people grow and to kind of have that safe space because everybody is starting over, everybody is here from somewhere, everybody is having this opportunity and time to explore who they are while also meeting people who are exploring who they are. So we're always, or not always, but we're more able to accept people and we're more able to hear people's stories and we're more able to build camaraderie and connection because we all came to this place with nothing.
Hmm.
True.
Hmm.
True.
I agree. I whenever I heard Poppy say I'm ready, I was like, I feel like we're gonna be on the same page because I'm on the same page. I
Yeah.
think I think in like flip the page, same thing. Like I think when you go to college, you have this sense of curiosity and you're like
Mhm.
ready to explore it because you don't really have anything binding you to it. And if you have the right people around you, professors included, school included, they're gonna be pushing that curiosity. They're gonna be challenging you to go out there and try something new, meet new people. People are like, go join different organizations across campus. And then when you start joining those organizations, you're like, oh, like click, 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 click. Like these are
Yep.
things that I'm interested in, and that's whenever things start really, stacking on top of each other. So I really feel like once you leave, that high school paradigm that you're in where things are just like structured around you, you have your schedule, you can't really change it. You go to college where it's like you have your schedule, but you can kind of change it, And so
Mhm.
and so it makes that schedule, for the semester fun, but also you can change the schedule for your life. And so you get that like, that blueprint that you get to constantly get to change and create for yourself.
It's almost like college, there's no boundary in a sense, like, it's all about exploration, and
Mhm.
it's okay to be yourself in your truest form, it's okay to mess up, it's okay to ask questions. It's like,
Mhm.
where I'm coming from is not it. College is the T. This is where I
God.
wanna be.
Yes, 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 literally. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I think number one thing that I was hearing from that is that you can make mistakes and then you can figure them out still in college.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of forgiveness there in college. And I just want to like segue this into real life now. I've been trying to really work on that same forgiveness for myself. It feels like when you go to adulthood, so a sense of that kind of wants to get stripped away from you. Like you can't really make as many mistakes as you were in college. But like I've been trying to be like, it's okay to make these
It
mistakes. Like you
is.
are still a human being, right? And college was like
Mhm.
the forefront of letting you have a chance to make those mistakes and still power on. So I love college for that too.
Yes, because that switch from college to the real world is crazy.
I'm like,
Crazy.
I don't ever want to live that first year again. I don't ever want to live that first year out of college
Okay, well,
again.
tell us about your first year out of college, because you said college was that opportunity for you to turn the light on and never turn it back off. So when you made that transition from college to real world in a pandemic, what did that experience look like for you?
I'm gonna how real life can I get
Oh,
in
we're getting
this?
real.
Okay,
Real.
I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little snippet, a little screenshot into my life. I feel like that 2020 into 2021 transition was to this day the hardest time in my life. I I don't ever want to go back there. I don't ever want to see that Kavori again. I have
Oh,
said goodbye to him and I've let him burn for a reason, right? Because this person who I am today is only a greater person because of him, but I don't want to ever meet him again, you know?
yeah.
So I graduated in 2020. I moved back home with my parents. I was out in college and then I went home where I'm not out, mind you. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm
Mm.
out now at home, but I was not out at that time. I went back home and I was back in that box one. And literally 3 days after I had moved home, it was Thanksgiving. I had left school early because I was just over it. I was over college at that point because of the pandemic. I moved home. It's Thanksgiving Day. I'm sitting at the table with my family in the morning. I look at my dad's eye, and a blood vessel has busted. And so, back in the day, before I was a communications major, I was a pre med major. And so, those little things in my head, I knew that, like, if a blood vessel pops in your eye, it's not really probably a great thing. So, I was like, you should probably go to the doctor, like, today. It's just an urgent care, just to see what's up. So my dad was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I was like, Dad, I'm making you go. Like, I don't really care what you think right now. Don't be a strong black man and not go to the doctor. Like, just go. Like, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
So he went to the doctor. He was on the verge of cardiac arrest. And
Wow.
they gave him all these tests. And we learned that he has Huntington's disease. And it shook us. It shook us down to the
Yeah.
core. So that's thing number two, right? I move home, I'm in the closet. Thing number two, I learned that my dad has a disease. Here, number three, here we go. So about 2.5 weeks later, it's my birthday, December 14th, whoop whoop. And I am just sitting there minding my business because it's COVID and you can't go outside. It's cold outside. I remember the day. I'm with my best friend and I get a text from my mom to say to come downstairs. Come downstairs. My mom goes, your brother tried to commit suicide today. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what another use
Crazy.
the wrong wrenches at me, right? Like
Yeah.
I haven't even been home for a month yet, and you're all like life is throwing these wrenches at me. I go down to Austin, I pick him up. I'm like, what do you want to do? How do you feel? I'm learning a lot about him. It ends up that he has schizophrenia. Had no idea. Could have
Mm.
seen it coming, right? But like you're in your you're in your life zone,
You're
right?
in your
You're trying to
zone.
figure out your son. I'm trying to graduate college. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because I don't really have that plan yet. I don't really have that job secure. And I'm like, what do you want to do? So he's like, I think I just should come back with you. So he comes back with me. This is the day after my birthday. Now I drive down there the night of my birthday to go pick him up.
Hmm.
I come back with him the next day, and we're all now trying to figure out, trying to deal with no medicine involved yet. We are learning these things as they come. My dad's disease, my brother's disease,
Wow.
and me graduating college, me trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. So I'm like, this could not be a more sticky situation, right? Like,
Yeah.
what, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So what I did was I started throwing my resume out there everywhere I could. I was giving it to everyone. And the reason is because I was like, I need to get a job so I can help support my mom. Like, if it's me and my mom in the situation right now, like this is all I can do.
Hmm.
I need to forget everything else that I've ever told myself and just hunker down and do the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sending my resume out, finally stick somewhere. Where does it stick? In LA. I'm like, oh my gosh, LA, like this is kind of huge, right? I'm gonna move across the country. I'm gonna do this. So I hunker down and I say yes to the decision. I move all of me and my things out to LA. And I decided that I'm gonna really put in the work to become the person that I've always wanted to be and that I have the dream set out to be so that I can make it happen for me and my family. I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm doing it for me and my family. This is why I'm out here. I'm
Mm.
not doing it for the girls on Instagram. I'm not doing this for my man who I love so much, right? Like I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this so that I can see my mom happy to see that the people that she's been taking care of for so many years, she can finally be happy and sit on her leather chair and like take a breather for a second.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it. And this is where I'm going to circle it back. I'm not going to do it lying to the world about who I am and who I want to be, right? I'm a
Hmm.
gay black male and
Hmm.
I look great and I'm healthy and I'm not a bad person. I'm not coming for your children and teaching them wrong things. I'm an inspirational person who has life and who has nothing different from himself than anyone else in this world. That story is just as hard as
Hmm.
a straight person, as
Hmm.
a kid in South Dallas, as a kid who is and across the world right now struggling with family, right? Like it does not matter what my sexuality is. What matters is what I own who I am and I make it my truth and I can see it thrive. Period.
Amen.
So I
Amen.
came out here and I was like, you know what? I used to go by Corey, which Poppy knows. I used to go by Corey. That was like my nickname for everyone. Why? Because Khavory was too hard to say. So I came out here. I was like, no more of that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going by Khavory because that's my legal name. That's what my mother gave me. She gave me it with pride. So I came out here with that. I was like, I'm gonna start doing everything I can to be creative. I got a job as a marketing director. I loved it. I left that job because I was like, it's not for me. And I started doing content creation freelance, and I'm still been doing it for 2 years now. So all I can do is just thank God. All I can do is just thank God because I still have my family who I love so much. We have grown a lot since then. There's a lot of pain in that time that I still am growing from and I'm still figuring out. But like I said, I never want to go back there and I never want to see that Kavori again. But this Kavori now is stronger because of him.
Because of
And
that.
that's I can thank him for and I can thank him for that.
Yeah, and I love that you pointed that out because I often think about the person that I was at a period of time and how I might not like that person, but that version of me needed to be there so that I could be here. And so I love that
Mhm.
that is something that you pointed out because it's such an intricate part of your story and who you are and how you got to who you are today. And I just want to say thank you for sharing that and that your
Of
story
course.
experiences are valued here, they're needed here, and everything you said is going to reach the person that it needs to.
If there's one thing in life, you have to share where you've come from because it's got to
Mhm,
touch somebody. It's got to
mhm.
touch somebody. It's got to. So I can't agree more.
Going through everything that you did in that transition from undergrad into the real world, can you give us just a little bit more about maybe how your faith also grew in that journey as
Mhm.
well?
I love that question because I was there to point out at some point it's one thing to be a gay black male, but it's also another thing to be a gay black male who's also a Christian, right? Like it is a battle at all times. Um, The one thing I found that I literally have been hearing my whole entire Baptist Southern life was that you should be putting in quiet time for yourself with the Lord, right? Like that's just like the most essential thing you can ever do. It was never doing that before that.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
so you know what I bet I did? I sat down and I had at least 10 minutes with God, just quiet, just trying to figure out where I'm at in that day, where I'm going in my future, what I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I hurting so much? Why am I so excited to see
mm.
what comes next? But why am I also so scared? Right?
Right.
Every day it felt so different. But if there's one thing that I learned through God is that I cannot and you like I what I need to be done doing is trying to control my life. I am not in control.
Ooh.
That that is no longer a thing that I need to be trying to hold on to because the longer I hold on to it, the more my life is going to be pushed into the dirt, right?
Ooh.
As soon as I release that control and I give it to the Lord, I couldn't even imagine, right? Like there's so much fear in my life and I'm trying to hold on to that fear. Why are you holding on to that? Why would you do
Get
that?
that fear out your heart, baby. Get that fear out your
Let
heart.
it go. Let it
Yes.
go. But also, it is not easy to let go of control. And I'm still doing so to this day. It is not easy,
Come
right?
on, you better
It
talk
takes
about
days
it.
where it takes days where sometimes I'd sit down, I'm talking to God, I'm like, oh my, I'm sorry. Like I'm taking control again our time. I'm crazy. I'm so crazy for that. I was so crazy for that. My bad, my bad, my bad, right? And so it's just really testing myself all the time and re-asking myself those questions that seem so elementary, but are so essential to be asked on a daily basis. I feel like that's the number one thing that my faith has been doing. It's just sitting down, just having a simple conversation.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
I wanted to ask a little bit of a like, I guess a challenging question.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if OSU is the same as UNT. But at UNT is very, very liberal. So there's a lot of like, I want to self-explore like with my sexuality, but then you
Hmm.
got like the preachers, so-called preachers that come to campus and they're like, you're going to hell for who you are. They're condemning them and it's not out of love and it's I'm looking at them like that's not God, that's not who God is.
Mhm.
So I just have experienced in person a lot of like hate towards the gay community because I feel like people have a misconception of what they think religion is supposed to be and how like religious people act towards like, people who do are attracted to the opposite sex. So I wanted to get your take, Kavori, on like your thoughts on that. How do you feel about that since that is your story, but you know, you do love God. So you're kind of in that middle place of like,
Hmm.
you know, what should I do? Or do you ever
Hmm.
feel like that, if that makes sense?
If there's one thing that I've learned through other people and through myself is your walk with in any faith. I don't care what you choose. It is yours. It is not someone else's to tell you whose it is. It's not their influence. No one can tell you how to walk in your faith. No one can. It is yours to choose and for yours to figure out, right? There's
Mhm.
you have a better relationship with anybody once it gets more personal, right?
Yeah.
What is this generic mindset or this super toxic mindset supposed to do for you? You think I'm supposed to grow stronger thinking that God hates me?
Come on. Come
Imagine that.
Okay.
on.
Imagine you think
The
this
paradoxes.
yeah, like you think I'm gonna be acting off of fear to love someone more? No, no, that's not gonna happen. And there's no way it can happen. Um, so trying to figure that out is hard, right? I have a book for everyone to read. It doesn't
Okay.
matter who you are, what your sexuality is. There is this book called God and the Gay Christian.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful book. It really walks through. It's a father and a son who have been Christian their whole entire lives. The son is gay, and they are kind of going through this journey together, figuring out and deconstructing the Bible and also their stories in order to intersect the two and to find the truth, not the lies within it all,
Mhm.
right? But it's not the truth that is supposed to be for everyone, right? It's their truth that they're sharing with everyone. And I think that's what the point that I'm trying to get to here is
Yeah.
that these things that people are yelling at you that may be so negative and so awful, that's not your truth, honey. That's not God's truth either. I'm going to tell you that either. The
Yeah,
truth is what you find through God, because God's going to tell you that. So that's my answer.
that's a
Yeah,
beautiful
that's
answer.
always been my biggest thing. Like, and again, I don't know if OSU is the same, but there was a lot of that I saw on campus, and it was just moments when I felt like so helpless because I know that, and we all know, like God operates with love. So if there's someone shouting at you and condemning you and telling you that you're wrong, we know that that's not coming from a
Mhm.
place of love. And I've
Right.
always struggled like being a Christian and being in like liberal places like that where it's like people automatically they won't accept me because they think I'm like that person who was out on the street telling them
Yep.
what their story is, or they think that I hate them because they're gay or because they're
Mhm.
lesbian or whatever. But the truth of the matter is I love everybody. I don't have hate for anybody. You know how much energy it takes to
Mhm.
hate
It
somebody?
takes
That's
so
so
much
Like what?
energy. So much. Like I barely got
So
energy
much
enough to like
easier to
you. You
smile.
think I'm about to have energy to hate you? Like what?
That just it perplexes me. I
it.
don't
That
hate
is so true.
you. That doesn't make any sense. I
I
love
think
everyone I'm called to love, you know?
And
Amen.
I think people like y'all, I need more people like y'all to be like, hey, there's like good Christians out here who love you for who you are, you know? Like, hi.
Yes.
We exist.
Yeah, like like, hi everybody. Like we're not awful. We're not gonna do anything crazy to you. So yeah,
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 you
it
no,
have no
most
truly
idea.
definitely.
is an individualized journey,
Mm-hmm.
no
Mm-hmm.
matter
So
again
that's
what you
okay.
believe or
That is actually
anything.
like a little girl, let me tell you, word that we have. Our little thing is individualized journeys. And that happened from season
Mm.
one, basically saying that all of our stories are different. However, we have similar experiences, but what makes them unique is our perspectives in these experiences. And so you could probably have a similar experience, but you saw it a completely different way. That's your individualized journey. But we're in a space where we
Mm.
respect that from each other. So that's why anytime we have a moment where we're like, ooh, ooh, individualized
That's your
journeys.
individualized journey.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Okay, I have one final question and we can kind of wrap this interview up. How can people in your life best support you?
Hmm.
How can we support you? What does that look like for you?
I think for me, and I don't know how many people can relate to this, I would hope that a lot. Asking questions.
Yep.
I am a person who thrives off of questions. One, because I've lived so long in a box, still in my head, sometimes in a box, that I need those questions to help me open that box up and dig into it myself because I'm too scared to, right? And
Mm,
so when someone else sees something within you and they're like, I'm not going to tell you what I think, I'm going to ask you a question to help you get there, right? That's what helps me a lot. And I feel like it will help a lot of other people within any minority, right? Like if you see something is wrong or you just need to get down to the bottom of the tea, that cup, right? Ask a question. Don't assume. Don't do any of that because at the end of the day, I want to feel like I was right. So if you ask enough questions to make me ding ding ding, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, look at me, I got there, right? It was from the help of a friend because they loved me so much and they helped me get there. To ask questions and patience. That's all it takes for me to feel the most amount of love. I love quality time. I love all that, but you ask me some questions and you're patient with this crazy brain of mine, girl, you got me for life. You can put a ring on it. So that's definitely my answer.
I love that. And I can tell because the way that you opened up today, just from a few questions that we had for you, was absolutely beautiful. And I just want to say thank you for
Hmm.
sharing. Thank you for
Hmm.
being willing to be vulnerable and share different aspects of who you are with us and the Girl Let Me Tell You community. We love you. We thank you. And this was just amazing.
I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. It's like I'm like Megan Stallion. I love you, Beyonce.
Okay, so a Girl Let Me Tell You episode is never complete without a game. We love games. It is our gig. As y'all know, recently the Grammys Grammyed, and there were some looks and there were some looks. So here's the thing. We are going to rank 10 looks from the Grammys best to worst, and give y'all our unsolicited opinion that nobody asked for. So this game is called Rank or Stank. Let's start with Lizzo. My girl, Lizzo.
I don't love it. I don't love it. What I do like is the texture. I love texture. What I don't like is that it has no shape, like to her. I wish that it had been contoured to her body more on the more of the dress part, and she still had that drapery kind of going on. Because the drapery, chef's
The
kiss. But
draperies.
I want to see your body, Lizzo. You're a beautiful woman. Like, let me see it. You always showing it. So let me see it. That's what I
Okay,
have to
but maybe
say.
that's what she was going for because she is usually showing her body. So she was like, let me just cover it up. Let me give him a little something
Okay.
to really kind of have an
That ain't Lizzo. I'm gonna put Lizzo at 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 7.
I'm gonna say 7 as well.
Majority rules. Victoria Monet.
Woo!
I love her. Now, I'm gonna start. I'm a little bit biased because Victoria Monet has been like one of my number one girls for some time now. I think it's giving like chocolate. It's giving luxury. I do wish her hair was a little more though. That's my only complaint. Her hair is too simple for me. But I do
Okay.
like the dress.
I agree with everything you have to say. I think this like low silk hip is genius for her body shape. I think that this corset that has literally too many lines to count, beautiful, snackable. I love that her shoulders are out. I love that it has a train. I love this bronze color on her.
Love Victoria Monet, but the moment I saw this outfit, I said, boring. So that's all I have to say. So where are we ranking her?
I'm gonna say 5.
I also was thinking 5.
I'll
say
take
5.
5. I'll take 5.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This
All
is a
right.
good game.
Taylor Swift.
I have so many opinions. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. You say what you gotta say.
I love the slit. I love the leg moment, but the shoes are terrible. Like I literally had these shoes for 8th grade dance when I was in 8th grade. Like we're not doing the open toe with the heel wrapped around. We're not doing that. Like what are we going for? I don't like this choker. I feel like if they were gonna do this like really like bomb white dress, the dress is bomb, then you need to do like a silver accessory moment. Like just make it all kind of like a matte white, silver, diamonds, luxury. And they gave her like this beautiful white gown and then just put all this black stuff. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. And I also feel like Taylor Swift is overrated. So there's that too. So I'm just gonna give my full
That's not a part of the game.
I'm gonna give my full opinion, honey.
You give your thoughts on the dress.
I'm giving my full opinion.
There is not a single thing that I enjoy about this outfit. The moment I saw it on the red carpet, I was upset. And I'm going to tell you why from a fashion girly. One, the actual garment, the actual dress itself, imagine if it was like a stone white. Imagine if it was like a little grayer. Right? She would look like she would belong in a Renaissance, right? Like she'd look like she would be an actual figure. But it's white, okay? So that's okay. So since it is white and she is Taylor Swift, if she is this queen, right? Make her look like it's her wedding. Make it look like she is walking down the aisle to go get her Grammy that she knows she's going to win, right? She
Right.
knows it. That's why she's here. Right. So make it look like this is her day, that she's winning her whole life for it. But you put in these black gloves and these ugly black shoes and this black choker, it had the potential to be so good if she did it
Okay,
correct.
come on. Where are we ranking Swift, honey?
Y'all ain't gonna like my rank, but I'm gonna put her at 4. I don't like her ugly shoes, but I'm gonna put her at 4.
I was thinking
Now y'all gotta
8.
think. 8?
Maybe.
Okay, you know what?
8?
I'm gonna meet y'all in the middle, and I just can't. No, I gotta put 8 too. The reason I gotta put 8 is because she cannot beat Lizzo.
She cannot beat Lizzo.
Okay, so the average of 8 and 4 is 6. So we have to put her at 6. So that's middle ground.
But we already both
I can take
we
it.
both voted 8. Though.
8 is too low for her. Looking at somebody, y'all
Look at
looking
this
at somebody's
outfit.
okay. y'all about to be real upset when the list come out and we got some of these other girls on the top when they need to be down at the bottom. Y'all remember Jay-Z said some of y'all shouldn't even be in these categories. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. The average is 6, and I feel like that needs to be, and that needs, but that should say that she is the average. Moving on.
This is a good segue. Taylor and Ice Spice are good friends. So Ice Spice is next.
Ooh,
Right off the bat. I'm
Jesus,
sorry,
Lord,
Ice
baby
Spice.
girl.
Ice Spice is giving like that's a Raven. If Raven Baxter went on the red carpet, this is what Raven Baxter would do.
Yeah.
If you could gaze into the picture.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, I completely agree.
I'm
That's
never
like the
gonna
best,
see that.
right? Like that's the best way to put this because it's giving Raven Baxter. She could have wore this to the BET Awards and probably would have got a better like reaction.
Yes.
But like the Grammys, it's just not. It's not my favorite.
Girl, why are all of my Beanie Babies on your jacket?
That's a Raven. I have to put
Yeah,
you
that's
at
a
9,
9.
girl.
I agree.
Because it's pretty tough. It's
That's pretty
tough.
bad.
Coming up next, my other girl, Halle Bailey.
1.
The Little Mermaid.
1.
Ugh.
What's 2 plus
Her
6?
body.
What's 7 plus 1?
Hold on, because when you come out with numbers, that's when I have to calculate.
Because she ate down.
Thank you.
She ate. Okay, I have an unpopular opinion.
Give it.
And I will insert it here. I do not like her hair. Her hair to me, I'm sorry. I hate that I have to say something bad about Halle Bailey. It looks really cheap. It looks really cheap in my opinion. Like it's just too like shiny. It doesn't give like a soft, healthy shiny. It gives
like it was dirty, waxy, greasy.
Shiny. Yeah, it I know like this is like good, high quality hair, but I don't like that hair on her. I would put her at 4. She's not number 1 for me. Well, maybe 3. I'm gonna put her at 3.
I was saying 3 here. I love that I can see every inch of her body. That is hot.
I love it. This is so sexy. Okay, we'll do 3.
Lana Del Rey. She's number 10.
10.
I'm sorry.
Stank or Stank? Baby, that's a stank.
This is the Grammys and not a funeral.
This is tough. It is not flattering in any way.
I mean, this is
I know Lana can come with the come on.
Don't play with me.
She did not come on with the come on.
She is beautiful. She is gorgeous. It is not being shown here in this look
at all.
Period.
Fantasia, another one of my girls.
She's been eating this year, okay? She's been eating this year. You can't tell me she hasn't.
Sidebar, her performance, religious. She came for that, and she also came for this look because I love it. It's giving like Egyptian goddess to me. And I kind of like love that she's putting herself as like this Black excellence here. She's like, you want to see me shine? What I say matters.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's one way to look at it.
You know, that's how I saw it, and so I love everything about it.
She looked like she smells so good.
Come on. I just need her to walk past me. That's all I need you to do. Just walk past me. Just walk past me
a few times.
Okay, I love this hair too.
God.
The way that they like, this hair is everything. Yes.
This is simple hair done correctly because her dress is giving a lot.
Put her at number 2.
I would put her at 4. But y'all voted 2, so y'all outvoted me.
2. Next up. All of my girls are in this list. Miley Cyrus.
She looks like she's about to go fight war. But like,
and I hate the shoes. But why is she fighting in these shoes? Did it have to be those shoes? But there's just like something is just not doing what it needs to do.
Something's not. Maybe it needs to be longer. Maybe this chain.
Maybe it should have been dragging the floor. Maybe it should have been one of those like long like chain looking things that's just dragging behind us. She's looking like an empress or something.
I don't mind the dress. I think I kind of like it on her. I just don't like her hair. I don't like her hair with this dress.
Y'all, is that what it is? Because something is
when I saw her hair, It looked like she had just like stood in front of like a high power fan for like 5 minutes. It was like, whoa,
And
now
they
my
just
hair's
put
done.
hairspray on it while she was standing in front of it the whole
Yes.
time.
Loved it in her performance, but for this dress, it didn't work for me.
I want to put her at 8.
I want to put her at 8 too.
Thank you.
Summer Walker
Woo!
slayed. She ate down.
Oh my God.
She ate down. Like this gives like church mother, but church mother meets like luxury red carpet
Glam.
mother.
Glam, honey.
It's so good. It's so good. It's
I can see
classy.
somebody's auntie walking down on Easter Sunday to sit on that front row with this hat on, so I
Yep.
cannot even see the preacher preach.
Can't even
And
see.
don't, I don't even care because you look this good.
This white is like, it's like a pure white. Like this is like that type of white that like catches your eye. Like it's because we saw Taylor Swift in white. That's white. This is like a pure white. Like it's gonna catch your eye. It's bright. And maybe, I don't know if it's blurry, but does the bodice of her dress have sequins on it? Or is that sequins? Do y'all see like in
There's something
today?
shining in there.
It's shiny.
That's so true.
It's shiny.
She just looked rich. She looks rich. She looked like she smelled good. You know, she done lathered up with the
I could
shea
ask
butter.
her to pay my student loans and she could pay every cent and not even think twice about it.
She looks like she has mints in her purse. Yes.
Number 1.
This is my number 1.
Period. I think
she
Number
ate
1.
everybody up.
She did.
She ate
Number
everybody
1.
up.
Easy.
Now, said y'all put Miley Cyrus in the wrong spot.
Pause.
Anyways,
I say that we put Taylor Swift in the wrong spot. But anyways, last on the list.
Anyways, I digress. Dawn Richards.
We need to average the numbers. Taylor Swift needs to be averaged.
Cause y'all know Taylor Swift don't need to be down there at number 8. Come on now, be real.
Because if she was at 8, then we could have had Miley at 6, and that just makes a little bit more sense. It's funny that we already talking about our list, and we ain't even talked about the last look yet. So let's get into the last look, and let's put her on this list.
Anyways, well, Dawn, you have to go to number 4.
Yep.
Yeah, which I honestly think that's exactly where she should be.
Same.
I love that it's a very conceptual piece. Like that's something that we haven't seen from the Grammys since like Lady Gaga, like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry used to come and just very like conceptual things to all their award shows. And this is something that I love. It just feels like she's like in this like garden.
Baby, she is the garden. I love this.
Yes.
Like this is like, girl, you are the tree. You are giving life. The roots and stuff are coming out of you, honey. Like this is just giving to me. I love that she chose red, and it's not really even a red. It's like a burgundy, but like it's like the tree leaves are bright, but then it gets darker as it goes down. Like literally like a tree. Oh, this is giving me life.
It's thoughtful.
I'm sorry, Dawn is not my number 4 spot. If I was making the list, Dawn would be down there in like the bottom 3 for me. Because 1, if I have to sit behind Dawn, I am pissed off because I can't see anything. Now I got to get up and move all around because your leaves are in the way. Your leaves are in the way. That's just me being like silly, but let's be real. You are not going to be happy if you got to sit behind. Put Dawn in the back in 0. Dawn, okay. I could have lived without Dawn.
That's crazy. That's a pretty good list. To have 3 different opinions come together for that, that's actually pretty good. I'm proud of us.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
It's a good list.
There's some things that were switched around, but everything at the end, I feel like shows what America wanted to say anyway. So
yeah,
I would switch Dawn and Miley. My list has Dawn and Miley switched, but I digress. Anyways, I love that game. I love having different opinions from other people. Thank you so much for playing along.
All right, well, that is all we have for you beautiful people. I just want to say before we wrap up this episode to Khavory, thank you for coming onto Girl Let Me Tell You, sharing your story, sharing your insight. It was just amazing, and we appreciate you so, so much. And a last and beautiful, gracious thank you to our listeners and watchers. We would not be here if it was not for you. So y'all know we love y'all.
But the conversation does not stop there. Be sure to tune in every other Friday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Girl Let Me Tell You Podcast.
And I just want to say thank y'all so much for having me. It makes me feel super special that y'all like thought of me for this. And this is like such a space where you can have fun and do the thing. So to all y'all, make sure you tune in next time on Girl, Let Me
Girl,
Tell
Girl,
let me
let me
tell
tell
you.
You.
you.